right, Demetrius Willis from the AACPG, and I am here with you with Jerom Bixe. Jerom is a dancer, a performer, an artist, and he's actually not from your local area. He's from Africa. He's visiting us from. So, Jerom, that was just a little taste of you. Can you tell us a little bit more about you?
I'm happy to be on the set today, and I'm really very excited. A little bit about me in summary. So, by name's Moses, aka Jerom Bixe. Born and raised in Uganda. I'm an engaging dancer, a theater artist. I specialize in Ugandan traditional, continental African forms. That is like Afro and contemporary dance. My performance experience includes concert, commercial dance, films, and theater production. Basically, I have a dance crew. I'm a member of a dance crew called Invisible Dance Unit. In brief, it's called IDU Dancers.
IDU.
Yeah, it's located in Uganda. So I'm proud to be in US, in Chicago. Sorry, in Washington.
Yeah.
I'm really very happy.
That's excellent. How many times have you traveled from Africa, from Uganda, to the United States?
Actually, this is my first time to travel. Travel in the United States, and it was really an exciting experience and moments I really can't forget in my lifetime.
Yeah, excellent. And have you traveled anywhere else besides the U.S.?
Yes, I've been in Europe, and I've also been in East Africa.
Okay.
Not basically in my country, but also in other East African countries.
Okay. And are you in those places performing, or you were just visiting?
Every moment I get out of my country, it's about dancing. So I travel with the dance purpose.
Yeah. That traveling seems like it's really important to you. Like, is that something you enjoy?
It's something I enjoy because you experience different cultures, and being that I'm an artistic dancer, so you get to know about different dancers in different countries. So how do they work? How do they incorporate their dance into their lifestyle? So you really get to know their lifestyle and also collaborate in different ways, and different artistic ways. So it is really something very great.
Okay. What is it about the youth that you think it's important that they do try to dance?
With the youth, I think sometimes it's about you first bring your attitude, they bring their energy and the entire heart within the place. So, and most especially, most of the youth are eager to learn and to experience different kind of dances. And you can also think about I'm being inspired by different people, but I also inspire a lot of people, so they could also be like me, and because we also began from a certain point, to reach where we are. So also it's about giving back, like building a foundation for them, and also
Yeah. And I hear you saying that it's about maybe them channeling. So some people, the kids are so frustrated, they don't know where to put their energy. You're saying dance is somewhere they can put that energy, and really they can excel at it.
Actually, dance, on my side, dance is a free world. It's a stress-free. You can just go in the place and dance. You forget about whatever you've been stressed of, whatever challenges. So within that time, you get to share with your friends, and you might also share what you're experiencing through with a friend, and he or she can give you a feedback, and can be even more worse within hard times, and it can be a lesson to you, and say, wow, I think if at all she was able to go through this, that means I can also go through this.
Yeah. So one of the things that we talked about in the beginning of our conversation today was travel. And How difficult was it for you to travel from Africa to the United States?
Actually, it's a long story. I always tell my colleagues, like way back from home, they could text me. I told them that in my traveling, it wasn't a normal stuff. It was like a miracle because before coming to Waukegan, I first stayed in New York for like 1 month. I was being chosen to be among one of the dance residents. Actually, we are 7, and in Africa, I'm the one who represented. I'm lucky enough that other guys are 6, I think 6 from US and 1 from Mexico. They chose 13 people, and 5 of them were international artists. But other guys from Africa, they couldn't manage. And this is the time, what I'm going to be talking about, it's about the visa process. Being that we went into a pandemic situation, and it was really a tough situation. Really, in Uganda, it's really very difficult in these days for someone to travel to United States. So it's really a hard challenge. I applied for the appointment, and in May, and my appointment was being scheduled in 2023. It was in February 14th. I sticked on that appointment, but I said I'm supposed to apply for an expedite appointment. Remember, there are a lot of people who apply for that, and it's pending. They don't.
Yeah. But somehow you got to jump.
Yes, I got and it just took 45 minutes to 1 hour. I don't know. I won't say I don't know, but I think within that midst, I'm a believer. Within that midst, I think the angels, they walked through within my application and within the consulate, because it took 45 minutes to 1 hour, and the consulate get back to me, and she told me, your request has been approved, and please confirm the date we have given to you. And they gave me 7th June for an appointment 2022. So and I told my colleagues, no, I was being given an appointment. They said, what? How did it manage on this side? Then I told them, I don't know, but I've received an appointment, an early appointment, that God just helped me. It was a little bit, within that was the first progress God did to me. And it reached on the visa interview, because that's where the hardest point is. On the interview, because every day most of the people have been denied
because
on the interview, they've been denied the visas, the US visas.
So many amazing parts of that story, though, like how you were able to jump, how you were approved, and it seemed like a last minute thing, but they got you in. The fact that you are one of 5 international people that came here, that were selected to perform here. And the biggest thing to me is the fact that you are here, and from what I hear, you'll be performing in this area soon. So we get a taste of that in this area too. There's so many amazing things about what's going on in your story,
Of course.
Yeah. One of the interesting things too about the travel that you talk about is that we have people who are in Waukegan, in Zion, in North Chicago, in Chicago itself, that have never left outside of their city. And people miss the importance of stepping away from what you're comfortable with and to a place that might not be as comfortable, and what you can get from that experience. And that's something that you've embraced and that you've really sought after. Would you just describe that correctly?
I think with traveling, if at all you're an artist in a certain category, like on my side, if you're a dancer, if you travel to different countries, there is the way it opens out your mind, so you become open-minded. You know, being that every country has its own culture, you know, and has its own system, the way how the country runs, you know. So, and also the different dancers are going to meet within that country, you know. So they're gonna share their experience to you, and you're also gonna tap into their experience, and also they're gonna tap into your experience. So with that collaboration, it is really an add up on your artistic career and on your artistic journey, and also you get a chance of networking with different people.
Okay. Yeah. So the perspective it's much more than the food and all that stuff. It's really like the perspective of people and their experiences, and like you said earlier, their energy that you're exchanging with them that grows you. Wow. And just picture if you did that all the time, how much each of us would really grow. So the fact that you were able to get away and come here, and even right now sharing your perspective, I'm learning from you, you know, and I'm feeling your energy. So I'm excited about, you have a performance on September 11th that you will be performing, and what can we expect from that?
I'm really excited about the performance, and I've done different theater dance pieces. I have home, I have support, I have legacy, I have identity. So I have different dance pieces, but I also have this piece really I want to do. It's called Journey. So basically, if I say journey is inspired by my personal journey and the relationship to the dance intermediates within the conflicts and concerns for the families, and also the questions of home, you know, society, belongings, acceptance. So all are going to be explored within this journey, or are being explored within this journey. It's really a nice story. I can't wait to share out.
I can't wait to see it. That's a lot wrapped up in that. Like, that's amazing.
Performance, full of energy, spiced with traditional dances, spiced with contemporary dance, spiced with rhythm, with music feel. So it's gonna be an amazing theater production. I'm really excited and can't wait to give out my energy to the audience.
All right, brother. Well, we are glad you're here, and we can't wait to see you, okay? September 11th, we'll come and see that. All right. So I am here with Pastor Corey Ratliff. We've been talking to Jerom about travel, and I just wanted to transition to you because you've traveled. And really, before we talk about the what, let's talk about the why. Why should somebody travel?
I love what Jerom talked about just perspective. You get a different perspective of people. And so it's important for us to travel so that we can just see that life isn't just about us. I think there's an attitude against Americans sometimes from other cultures, because they think we're arrogant, they think, you know, different things like that. And I've experienced that before, you know, but part of what solves that problem is being able to go and experience another group of people, being able to go into another country and learn about them, and not just go to take, because I think sometimes that can be an issue too, that we go and we just want to just take from them and do this and do this. And it's like, well, we need to really go and experience them, because they are human, just like me. And so there's a why. There's a human connection that we need to have. And part of this pandemic that I think a lot of us are suffering with is the lack of human connection. By being told that we've got to isolate, you know, it really has put a problem on us as a society of humans. But it is when things are able to be opened up again, as they are in many different countries, I think it's important that we get out and travel. I think it's important that we have that human touch, that human connection, you know, just to know, how did you survive the pandemic? What did you do? What you as a people, the people in Poland, people in Italy, people in China, people in Uganda, people in Kenya, how did you survive the pandemic? What did you do? So I think there's an important why that all of us need, and that why is that perspective, because you come away humble.
Excellent. Let me ask you this, Pastor Corey. Can I ask you for a second to brag on your passport? Okay, so you're speaking from experience. Can you talk about where you've been able to kind of travel and get some of these perspectives you're talking about?
Yes. So for us at the Sign of the Dove Church, we do a lot of mission travel. And in our mission travel, it's a lot of training that we help other churches. We help other churches be able to know how to lead. And so we do leadership, or we'll help them in scripture, or we'll help them in just outreach and just being able to help people in different areas. And so I've been able to travel to Europe, Central Europe, places like the Czech Republic, Slovakia. We've done work in Germany. We've also been to London. We've traveled even to India. If I had a chance to go to India, that was an amazing trip, just to be able to bless others. And the nature of any type of service-oriented group, such as the church, service-oriented, you have the opportunity to go and be of service to a different group of people. And so I've been able to do that also in Uganda, Kenya, Tanzania. I think that's about those three. Yeah. So, and most of my journeys have always been service-oriented, where I'm going out there to basically be of service to, whether it's children, whether it's other leaders, whether it's people that are just in disenfranchised ways, and being able to go in there and be a blessing to them.
That's amazing. And the cool part about that is that you are there not to look at buildings and to wander around. You're actually there to hear people's stories and find out what their experiences are, and finding that way that you might be able to help them in that space. I got a chance to live in Germany for a few years, so I was going to concentration camps, and I was going to these places to really get an understanding of the culture and some of the back history and stuff like that, to get an understanding of what things are right now.
And let me speak on that, because we had a training by a national from Uganda who lives here in the U.S., and she told us it's important to get both perspectives. It's important to see the greatness of another nation. You need that perspective, but then it's also important to see the reality that there is poverty, the reality that there are these different things. Some people in the U.S. don't even realize that in the U.S. there are pockets of poverty that are seriously bad, and it's just like, is that really in the United States?
Right.
And it's like, yeah, there are some really impoverished areas even in the United States. And so I think it's important for us as a people, Black people, travel. Black people, go overseas, get perspective of other countries. I mentor young people, and with those young people, I tell them, go get your passport. Go get it. You may not travel now, but you might be traveling like maybe in a couple of years, but at least you've set yourself up to be open to visit other places. And I love what Jerom said, you gain perspective, that life is not just about you.
Okay.
Yeah.
So we talked about the why. Let's move to the what. Like, okay, I want to, I'm going to travel next December. I'm going to travel. We're pretty far away from that. What are the steps somebody should start thinking about at this point right now?
Yeah, there's an investment with traveling. And so even with trying to get the passport, you're going to spend about $130, $150, maybe $160 in just trying to go through that process. For those that are in Lake County, there are several different places that you can go to try and get an application. You can go through the post office, but you can also get help from the township. The township offers that service of being able to help with a passport. And even if you have had a passport before, you can get guidance on how to do that application. But all this stuff is online. I think many times we miss the opportunity of taking that step because we don't think it's accessible to us.
Right.
But you're right, you can do this. It is open up to you. And so if there's a goal inside of you that you want to travel, I would say get busy with the first step of getting that passport.
And that's good for years, right?
Well, there is a time limit with it, and I can't remember if it's 10 years or 15.
Yeah.
I think it's 10 years. But but still, get the passport. You, like I said, if you don't travel this year, at least you're already set up to travel. And so then that next point is then trying to determine where you want to go and what you're wanting to do. You can do service missions. You can, visit for the sake of just pleasure, but all of this is taking the reins off of what I can't do. And I think this is, this is a self-care issue.
Yeah.
Okay, we stress out ourselves, and sometimes we have these yearnings, and we talk about this stuff with the NAACPG regarding self-care, is that we stress ourselves out sometimes even from the place of being jealous of others that are going different places. And it's like, man, I wish I could, and it becomes almost a cloud, of depression almost. But it's like, well, why don't you take the first step of even talking about it?
There you go.
Let me talk about the fact that I can go to Italy, and just really talking about it, like envisioning it. I'm going to go to Italy, and just being able to have that positive spin where you can breathe into a vision, of being able to travel. And I think that us as Black people, Black and brown, we need to get into this space where it's okay for me to travel.
Yeah.
I can travel. And being able to give ourselves a yes, if you will.
Yeah, absolutely, because we spend so much time thinking, no, I can't go there. No, like, how is that going to work? And that's what this conversation is about, for you to start taking these first steps to, okay, let me get a passport. It's going to be good for years. So even if you're not going to go in the next 2 years, you're still taking these steps to line it up. In between there, maybe you want to look up some videos of some different places that you might be interested in, start learning. This baby steps of exposing yourself to that country is really going to get you excited. And let's get excited about something that you're not seeing every day. And when we talk about self-care, really expanding your vision of what's possible for you. That's what you're talking about, right? Expanding it a little bit more than you've been told that you can do.
Right. Yeah, that whole phrase you just used, expanding vision, it's just so powerful. And for us in the church community, we're constantly asking God to expand our territory. But it's just like, you've got to get out of this smallness and see that there's much more. And I think for many of us, this pandemic has just kind of squashed dreams, and it's time for us to dream again. And so for any of you that are watching this, I'm just, I really hope that you would set that up, and for many people, I know that they're still grieving over the fact that they could not travel because of the closure, could not do this. I mean, I had to suffer through our trip being closed because we were supposed to go to Uganda at that point of the pandemic, and we had to cancel our trip. So I know what it is to grieve through that process, but it's also time to dream again. And so we really wanted to have this broadcast, this recording, so that we could really inspire you to just even think about it. You may, be saying, well, I grew up in this poor town area, and we just don't do those type of things. I have a personal testimony towards that. I came to North Chicago. I taught in the North Chicago School District, and we wanted these kids to experience more. And when I came in as a teacher, I came in with the experience of traveling to Florida, traveling to, the East Coast, traveling to different places. And so in my mind, this is what we do, and to come into, right, it's normal for me because that's what I was raised up in, and granted, I didn't have the money. I didn't come from a background of having money to do that at all. But we knew what we had to do was put in the work. We did fundraising. We asked people to help contribute so that we can go on these trips. When I came to North Chicago, that is what we did. We took them to Canada. We took our choir, the choir, we traveled to Canada, we got on a bus, it was awesome, we had a great time, many great experiences. They got to perform at these different places in Canada, it was wonderful. We took them to the East Coast, they got to experience New York, they got to experience different things, you know, and singing in different places. We took them to Disney in Florida, you know, and it just opened up their mind. And I still have young people reminding me, as they're grown adults with their own kids, just saying how much they appreciated those experiences. Being able to come from an environment where all you saw was just that area, and being able to expand it to go somewhere else, it just opens up the heart. It opens up the mind of possibilities to do more. Yeah. So I want to see more black and brown people. In fact, even people from Uganda, they're very excited that we come from the Sign of the Dove, and Sign of the Dove is a multicultural church, okay? But in that multicultural, they're excited to see black and brown people come that are American. And so there's something about that. There's something to that just as much as we would want to experience them, they also need to experience us. You know, and just the human connection of black people, those that are from Africa and those that are from America. There's something that's sweet, there's a sweet communion that can happen when we're able to fellowship and share our experiences together.
Cool. Like it's not only you growing, think about the people you're gonna get in contact with and how they're growing. And you talked about how your trip got canceled. You were disappointed, but I bet the people on the other side that you were gonna see were very disappointed too. Yeah. So let's start making that connection. The other thing, like a road trip. You can't beat a good road trip, you know? And we're talking about passports and we're moving there, you know, but maybe your first step is to drive to St. Louis or to drive, you know, somewhere that's not that far away just to warm up. And the last thing that I love that you said, Pastor Corey, was the idea that if you're expanding your perspective and your expectations of life, you pass it on to your kids. Now you're able to not speak from the point of, I've never traveled. No, I've traveled, and you guys are supposed to travel too. So you grew up with this expectation of, what do you mean? Everybody travels. To be able to have that, your children know that they can travel wherever they want, even to other countries. So it's really important generation-wise for us to pass that kind of experience down.
Yeah. I agree. Good. Yeah, I agree. You know, I think that if we can keep that humanity in front of us, we will have a love for humanity and not fight humanity. Another thing that I notice when we do travel is the same characters that I see here are the same characters that I can see there.
Yeah.
So this is a human thing.
Yeah.
You know, and they may live a little bit differently. They may have different cultural, you know, norms. Yeah. But at the root of it, we're still all human. Yeah. You know, and so being able to see that and have a respect for that and have a love for mankind, you know, is something that needs to still be nurtured in us. And I think through traveling, we can do that.
Excellent. Yeah. I'm so glad we had this conversation about this and just encouraging people. I feel encouraged. I need to plan another trip. So please continue to follow our Facebook page, the AACPG. We are putting this material out there for you because we want you to feel encouraged. You have to take care of yourself. We love you and thank you, Pastor Corey, Jerom, and you all take care.